The pinnacle of human perspective.
This video came from YouTube.
It's trending on Twitter.
Why is it not on the news?
The Mandela Effect.
Wait, what?
It's the Mandela Effect.
The lion will lie down with the lamb.
Come on! I'm starting the show here. We're rolling.
Unbiased and on the fence.
Welcome to Unbiased and on the Fence. I'm Shane. Thank you all so much for joining. Welcome everyone into the chat. We have Michelle Wolfe with us again. She's got her own YouTube channel up and running now. And I want to thank Josee for being here in the chat, along with the other moderators. Thank you to the Boinkers, Josee, the Mott Squad leader. How are you doing today, Michelle?
I am awesome.
Okay, well, we got tons of pressure on. The title is Michelle's Prophetic Dreams of the Event Update. So
okay,
the pressure's
right
on.
Off the bat.
Because you know there's all the impatient people. It's like, get to it, man. Get to it right now. I don't want to wait.
I know. That's a lot of pressure. So I will say, when we talked about it, the first time, and we didn't really discuss the title beforehand, So, I want to just say that what I shared last week was what I was comfortable with sharing. Dreams are a very, very personal thing. Also, a lot of the things that happened initially in those event dreams are not things that I necessarily really want to get into full detail with, because I don't really think that they're things that are going to happen anymore. They're just really road signs, and people can easily take those things out of context and take them as more of a fearful thing. So I was a little cautious about that. But if anybody wants definitely a lot more detail about me experiencing the sensations of the wave event, then that's where you want to go take a look at my video. Okay, so that's all I have to say about that.
And that link is in the description. Just so everybody knows, the link's in the description. You can check out that video as well as subscribe to her channel. So if she comes out with more information, of course, she'll be back on the show here, but you'll get it first from her when she posts something on her channel as well. And let's get right into it. I'm excited.
Oh, I'm so excited. Who else is excited?
We got a chat room full of people, about 60 people, and they're all excited. Lots of love. Thank you so much.
Everybody's got their party shoes on.
Thanks so much, Josee, for spreading the love throughout the chat there. I know you don't have to
love you, Josee.
You don't have to use your wrench much, and I'm glad you don't hesitate to boink when you need to and spread the love. So right into it here. Now we got 66 people. Perfect. The 611s.
Awesome. Let's wait till it gets to 99.
Or 111, right? I love when I look up and it's 111.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when it gets there.
Okay, good, because I can't see the chat at all. Anybody that's wondering that, I just see Shane right now in a little thumbnail of me. So if there's anything you want to mention, Shane, let me know, because I can't see. I'm
actually gonna. You're not gonna see me. You're gonna see my thumbnail for a little bit. I'm gonna speed.
Okay. Now you're just. All I'm staring at is a cartoon.
You got cartoon me.
I'll deal with it.
Thanks to all the subscribers. 71 people.
Thank you to all my new subscribers. Wow. Thank you. So much love and support. So much, so many kind words from people, and and the gratitude that people have shown me too has been amazing, and exactly why I pushed myself to do that video, even though it was really it was a lot, and it was emotional, and it was a lot for me to put out there.
It's a lot rougher than it seems like it's going to be, isn't it? It's like you're just sort of putting yourself out there, but you get used, more used to it. Never completely easy to do, but Well,
it was great to start. I had your support with the first video last week, and that's so much easier, having somebody to have a conversation with and just feel like, you're sitting around that kitchen table and just chatting about something. So when you're just on by yourself and you just got to talk, it's definitely a lot more pressure. So I think I was kind of talking a mile a minute, which I usually do, but I think I got really all the details that I wanted to in there.
Awesome. So what was the new dream like? Do you feel like that was more of an updated view of what might be
For
happening?
sure. For
Okay.
sure. Okay. So, I got a great visual this morning. I get a lot of my messages and sort of visualizations that hit me. And we were talking about, sorry, let me see if I can.
Well, we had the video yesterday. Let me bring that up. You know the video Allison Coe sent me yesterday that I show with the
Yes.
Jerusalem sky and the beams of light. Matter of fact, I used it as the thumbnail to this video. But if you want to see the full video, you can check the link of yesterday's video or look at the thumbnail to know the video I'm talking about. Or watch the beginning of yesterday's video. I played a clip of it. But what was cool is that was real similar to what you saw in your vision or in your dream,
That's
right?
the amazing thing. I got so excited. I saw that yesterday. So the dream I had was Sunday night, and then I put the video out there, which I had already been intending to do a dream on that topic, to go back and actually talk about the experience I had with the angel giving me the wave energy and actually feeling the sensations of it, which we had talked about just between you and I, but we didn't actually bring it up in last week's show. And that was something that definitely had a lot more detail to it as far as what the real experience is, like what it actually felt like. So, if anybody did miss my video so far, please go back and take a look and subscribe, but and hit a like. But I'll let you know, just sort of briefly. I was told in this dream by an angel that I was going to be receiving new technology that was going to allow me to manifest instantly. This was before I even knew about the wave. It was about 10 months ago. I just started, researching and learning about ascension. But it was probably, within a month or two after having that dream 10 months ago that I started getting the information about the wave from other sources and was able to connect those dots. So in the dream, I was told I was getting this new technology and to manifest instantly. And then I was hit with this enormous wave of energy, just boom. And it was, so it completely took me out of where I was. So there was nothing else but this energy. It was blinding light of color. Like that's all I could see visually. It's not that it hurt my eyes, but it definitely felt blinding. It felt like you're so exposed to something that's so overwhelming that nothing else exists but this feeling and sensation. That's the best way I can explain it. So, so when it hit me, that's all there was. The only thing I could do was try to accept or take in or receive and breathe through this enormous feeling. What it felt like, and some of you are going to get a really good giggle out of it. Shane and I were talking about this first time to see how I could sort of delicately say this, because
Like
well,
like a big O, right?
like a big like not you
I think the
like
word for
times
that
a
is
thousand.
as ecstatic is I think the technical term
Bliss.
for it. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like an
well,
ecstasy
what I realized.
beyond.
I never knew really what bliss was. Never really understood, what really is bliss. We know what happy is. We know what fun is, gratitude, those different things. But what is bliss? How many of us truly experience bliss for any length of time, real bliss? And I realized that's what it was, this overwhelming feeling of extreme pleasure, happiness, and love
But almost
that
too
was so
intense,
much.
right?
Oh, it was too intense. I'm absolutely telling you, it was too intense.
But it wasn't painful, just too.
No, but it was. What I did do in the video I made is trying to equate it to similar experiences that I've had, just sort of put the pieces together so people could sort of understand what that experience was. And one of the things that it reminded me of is when I was giving birth to my second child. And so take the pain out of it, but there's a point that many women can probably relate to in labor and delivery where you hit this point where you're almost at the end of it, but it gets to the point where that's it. Like, I can't do this. I can't do this. You know, you want to back up, you want to get out of here. I can't take any more of this. I cannot push for one more second. I cannot endure it. It's too much. But then all of a sudden you realize there is no going backwards. There is no other option than going forward. And that's all you can do. So there was definitely a similar kind of feeling, thought process to when it hit me. It's hitting me, and it's like bowling you back, but I don't have physical form. It's just being thrown back into this massive amount of energy, and it's like, you know, almost like gulping for air, like you're trying to, can I even take this? Like you could burst. And then it gets to the point, the only thing you can do is allow it to do what it's going to do. The only thing
Sort of
you
let
can
go,
do
right?
is just let go, is to just let go of control. That's what it let go of having control of this energy, or what it's doing, or how you're even receiving it. You literally just have to give up control. And that's where I'll remind anybody, just give up control to your higher self. They know what to do. So, you know, when you do, I hope, feel this sensation and it hits you, it's going to take you back. It's going to be blinding. It's going to be overwhelming, like nothing you've ever experienced before. And you will wonder if you are able to handle it, but you are. And you wouldn't be where you are unless you could handle it, and your higher self knows this. So what I suggest is, when you feel that way, just remember these words. Remember that your higher self knows what to do. Give up that control to your higher self. Let them guide you through it. Just breathe. I found as soon as you can give up that control and let it go, then it just flows through you.
It's easier.
Right? Yeah, it's like, you know, when we're knocked off the shore by the river, you know, by a flood or whatever, and it wants to wash you away, and you're like, you know, you want to grab onto the rocks, right? And because you're so scared to just let go, you think you're going to drown. But what ends up happening is you're getting hit by debris, you're struggling, you know, and you're doing yourself more damage by trying to cling to the rock. When really, if you just let go, you will just flow down the river safely. So that's another visualization I would give to anybody out there. I hope it helps.
Now, when you had this vision, were you what was the setting like? What was it like? I mean, where were you? What time of the year was it?
It was weird.
People are asking if
it was very simple. So I don't know what time of year, and I don't know why it was where it was, but I know that it was a subway car, and it was at the back of the car, right by where the door would go to the other next train.
Oh, wow.
The
okay.
angel was, so if you're looking to the back of the car and you see the door, you know, sometimes there's that to the right, you have maybe a booth there.
Right.
And then is just kind of that empty space right by the door. That's where the angel was. And then I was in front of the angel, just slightly behind. And to my right were two people that were younger than me. They were a boy and a girl, but I don't know who they were or what the meaning of that was. I don't remember having a conversation with them or anything like that. I just know that there was a younger male and female there with me. And basically it was just that. We're standing in the subway car. The angel says, and this is, you asked me last week about telepathy. And when I was taking in that question, I was taking it in a way as, had I done telepathy
right.
in dreams? And that I couldn't recall. But then when I did think about it more, I do receive information, I believe, telepathically in dreams. Because somebody's talking to me, but they're not talking.
Right.
So I do believe that I was experiencing something. So in that way, the angel, it's not like I could see lip moving or, you know, because
it's more of a knowing, right?
Yeah, there was I was being communicated with, absolutely. Right. So I believe it was like telepathically. I was being given the words in my mind. I knew it was being said, but there was no visual speaking. It's not like I could see this face, mouth moving. What I was seeing as far as the angel goes, and this is definitely like the strongest image or vision where I could, definitively say, like, I really do believe that was an angel. There was the sense or slight visualization of a figure, a form, humanoid, behind this or within this light, like beams and beams of light and color. I've seen paintings, and people do paintings of angels that they get visual impressions of. A lot of similarity to that with, these beams of energy and light and color, flowing out. And then you kind of have the outline and the suggestion of that form and that shape, but it's not like I could see that face talking to me. But the visual was there, and I was given the information, and then I was immediately thrown this energy. It was like receiving a download, but it was the biggest download I have ever received, for sure. So, but that, that really is the extent of it. So, when I received the energy, I went through sort of that struggle. I let go of control, was able to take it in. And once I was able to take it in and assimilate it, and it's buzzing through every cell of your body. When they say that, like Fleur was saying, how you feel that through every cell, that anesthesia feeling, definitely that's part of it. You do feel that, but then it goes boom and just kicks in a magnitude that you can't even imagine until you experience it. You can't imagine it.
Was this was this the first dream you had 10 months ago, or was
Yes.
this? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So how did that?
So the next one?
Well, I don't know. Was that the end of that one? I don't want to rush that one.
Yeah. So once I took it in, I actually woke right up. I was like, I literally woke right up. I sat right up in bed, and I was like even out of breath a bit. I was like, what was that? It woke me right up, startled, sitting right up out of bed. And that was that.
Wow.
And then it took me, a couple months, and it's been since then, this process, Allison Coe, her videos, she was one of the first ones, I started picking up the information from Dolores Cannon.
Aha moments then, when you're like, oh, this must be what that vision was about. Or that dream was about.
Yeah. One of the other ones was that manifesting instantly. That when we are upgraded and we receive the wave, that we will be able to manifest instantly. That was another really big cue, that tie in there, because that's what specifically I was told, that this is technology that will allow you to manifest instantly. Don't get hung up on the word technology. I mean, downloads, that's what a computer does. So I don't want anybody going, it's AI.
Or transhumanism or something along those lines.
Yeah,
right.
No.
It wasn't like you had to put this device on your head and then you could start creating.
No, I wasn't teleporting.
Okay.
No helmets.
Well, I'm sure people are wondering, so I'm glad we cleared that up. So you had all these aha moments, and then you have this.
With the pieces. Mm-hmm.
You have this other dream like a few days ago. When was it? It was a few nights
ago?
So
it was Sunday night, and I was really feeling that, I think everybody really started to kind of crash, right? Because we're coming up to the end of March, and like people are kind of like getting a little bit discouraged and starting to lose their breath again. I could feel it. I could feel it myself.
Somebody said that in the chat. They were like, well, the end of March, I guess I got let down again.
That's what I said. Oh, yeah, we're almost, here we go. And I could feel it. I could feel it from everybody else. I could feel it within myself. I had a great visualization this morning too that kind of pieced it together for me as well. And so when you get a tsunami, the waves are all pulled out, the water's pulled out. So you're on the beach, you're enjoying the beach, all of a sudden all the water disappears, right? Mm-hmm. And everybody's standing around, where did all the water go? Where the water just disappeared, and everybody's all discouraged and everything. Mm-hmm. But then what happens?
Then it comes back.
Then you see the tsunami.
Yeah.
So I really got that visual. I really feel like that's almost like what happened with the energy. Like that wave was drawn back in again. So we're all feeling that absence of it and feeling sort of at a loss. Like, what happened? What's going on? Mm-hmm. And then I think really,
it's sort of like it's rearing back to really punch in, huh?
And then what's happening now? Look at the visual confirmations that we're getting everywhere. Yeah. And we're actually starting to see it. So what the other thing I brought up in my dream, sort of kind of segueing into the next dream from Sunday I'll tell you about, is when I did experience, I didn't tell about it in the last time I was here, but I did experience tsunamis. That was sort of one of my event experiences. And I got a lot of feedback from people that they experienced very, very similar things. This was 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, I was having these dreams about the tsunami, seeing it way off in the horizon. One time I was on this like cruise boat, a lot of people on this big sort of cruise boat, and we all look out over the water and you just see it along the horizon line, just like when it hit Japan, you just see that big line up there and you're like, oh, and everybody just kind of stops, right? And everybody goes into panic mode. Like, that's it. It's going to hit us. We're all going to die. Everybody's running around. Now, even in my thought process in this dream, even though I did not panic and I was not afraid, I did feel and say to myself in a way, well, I guess this is it. This is the end of my experience in this life. That's it. And I braced myself for that. Right. So then the wave hit. Now, the thing is, I did not see it getting closer. It's not like it was at a distance. Then there was all this stuff going around, watching the other things going on around me, people panicking, me bracing myself, and then being hit with this. And it was like, boom, everything sort of gets tossed up and around. But then when everything settled and all the dust settled, everybody's looking around. Nobody was hurt. Nothing was destroyed. Everybody was okay. And everybody's just kind of standing there sort of like, what was that? Kind of in shock. And so there was nothing to be afraid of. So nobody was hurt. So I did have that at least 2 times, clearly, definitively, in dreams within the last 3 years, right? Since really, a lot of this stuff started in 2013, 2014, I would say, a lot of these big dreams. So that's interesting. I wanted to point out that at that time, it was far away. Right. So the dream Sunday, basically in the dream, I'm sleeping in bed in my dream, and I awake in my dream and believe, oh, it's time. I'm feeling like I should look out the window. The wave's here. So I look out the window of my bedroom very clearly, and there it is. Not all the way on the horizon. Right. And when I first saw it, it was probably about the length of a football field away and massive. Now, it was nighttime. So it's not like it was super bright. I wasn't seeing the colors super bright, but I could see them dulled, and I could see all the movement. I could see the energy flow going, being pulled up the wave, like you would see the foam of the water when it goes and gets pulled up the wave to be turned over and recycled. I could see the energy moving up this wave, and it got closer, and it proceeded to get closer, and I watched it get closer until it actually did hit me. So in watching it closer, I'm standing there. I'm so happy. I'm excited. I'm like, oh my God, here it is. It's time. It's finally time. And I'm knowing that I am going to experience this feeling again. I know that I'm going to experience this bliss again, and I am so excited. And even before the wave even fully hits me, the energy already hits me. It didn't even need to take all the way to the wave sort of consuming and flowing over me. That feeling kicked in probably when it was about 12 feet away from me.
And it didn't feel like water, right?
No water
okay,
at all.
just making sure, because I'm picturing a big wave coming in.
Water,
Okay,
no water at all. Again, when I went to energy mode, it was just so much energy. But I did keep physical form this time. I did continue to experience it being present in my body in the dream. I did continue to experience it for the majority, I think probably till it really hit me, with still being able to see the wave until it really hit, and just I was completely overcome. But so what happened, I'm excited, I'm prepared, and I know what's going to happen, and I know how I'm going to feel, and I know I can do it. And this is probably going to make me cry again. I cried in my video. because it's so overwhelming, guys, to experience this kind of love. There's nothing else like it. There
And to
really isn't.
finally to feel it after so long of wanting it and longing for it, and then it's finally you finally feel
Nobody,
it hit you,
I
and
don't think here on earth, many of us even really believe we could be loved like this.
hmm
It's hard for us to even believe that we can be loved so much.
without
To feel
actually
it, to feel that
experiencing
much
it.
love. Yeah. So as it hit me, I'm feeling all this feeling, but really this time I'm really feeling all this love. It's not just the bliss. It really is just so much love. And I am just consumed with so much adulation, so much gratitude, so much just worship and awe and like praising God for this love. That's all I could do. That's all I could do. And listen, I didn't grow up in church. It wasn't like I was there every Sunday going, hallelujah. God bless you, those that did. It just wasn't my experience.
hmm
And because I read the Bible, but I'm just not one for organized religion. But I tell you, I wanted to sing hallelujah. I was amen. Thank you, God. Praise you, God. Like I could do nothing else than praise God in that moment. That's all I
Wow.
could do because of the love. So that's really, and that's really it. And that was that experience. So to me, it makes sense, to see that and see it was like, and then for me to be able to go back, I planned to do the video on Monday just with that first dream 10 months ago,
hmm
right? That's what I was planning to do on the Monday because we didn't get into it on the show. And when I had that dream, I was like, well, here we go. I also did my card, my tarot, because I do tarot cards. I've been doing them for well over 10 years now. I don't need to do them every day for myself, but certainly when I have a pretty big, impactful question like this, that I'm wondering about. And everybody was starting to wonder, what's going on? Should I still be expecting this, somewhat immediately? I know it's going to happen because I wouldn't have had that feeling once ever. I will feel that way again in my infinity. I will feel it again.
And I think it's
So
important to point out the fact that you weren't. I mean, if any of us had a dream like that, we're like waiting for it to happen. We're like, we would have to wonder, is it because I've been focusing on it so much? But your initial dream, you had no idea about any of this, so it's not like you could have programmed yourself to have that dream in your sleep. It came to
yeah,
you without any sort of daytime influence, awake
nothing. No,
influence.
no, nothing. No information that would put this together for me at that time like that.
And
Definitely
also, for
not.
those who didn't see the first video we did, she's been having prophetic dreams since she was a teenager,
Well, so
realizing.
my life, I was able to like definitively prove it when I
Right,
was
right,
16 and
that's
go,
right.
okay,
Yeah,
I
because
can
you
go
had
on
an
it.
instance where
Yeah.
you had a dream and then it actually
hmm
played out just like the dream, I think the next
Yes,
day or
that
something at
that next
school.
day, so I could legitimately prove to myself. I didn't need to prove it to anybody else. I didn't even tell anybody else at the time, but I could definitely definitively prove to myself to say, okay, that is what it
So
is.
that's when you realized it was happening, and it's
Hmm
continued to happen throughout your life.
Yeah.
Where,
So I take my dreams very seriously.
yeah, no doubt.
They're a big source of information for me, and though they may not make sense, for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, they eventually do.
hmm
They eventually do are all pieces of a puzzle that puts together a whole picture for me. So, but the experience, really since 2012 in the dreams, it has been a whole other plateau in my life for sure. The visualizations and the power of everything I was seeing and experiencing and repetitive dreams and everything really, really kicked into overdrive. So,
That's amazing.
hmm
So I guess
yeah.
the you
hmm
don't really have any information on. So I mean,
Oh, I'll just finish saying I almost
okay.
I because I did my cards on the Sunday, so
Oh, right, right.
people might, well, what did she get in the cards? So I did just do a simple reading, with the question of kind of should I still be expecting this? very soon? Is this something that's really going to happen still very, very soon, or is it something that's still going to be a while off? I think that was predominantly, the question that I was asking. I won't get into specifics about the reading really, but everything that I received was extremely strong affirmations that yes, you're right on cue. Don't worry, you're right on track. And the only thing that could be delaying anything in any way was any doubt. That's it. That's the only thing that could be holding anything back, was any doubt. So it was just a reminder to don't doubt right now.
Right. That's why I was telling people on that one broadcast, I'm like, look, if April 1st comes around and it hasn't happened, what if it's going to happen April 1st? And
April
just
1st is going to be God's biggest joke ever. Ever.
Right. But, it could be like, we could be on the threshold of it that morning, but yet everyone's like waking up and they're like, it's April, it's not going to happen. And they delay it another month because of the doubt. I say don't get caught up on a date or the first quarter of the year. Those were just signposts that it's soon. I think keep in mind that it's soon.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. It's imminent.
Everyone expects, we're such instant gratification monsters. We've been trained that way, right? For this instant gratification.
Yeah,
so everybody
food.
expects this thing to happen in a moment like that. Like it's not there and then boom, it's there, right? Mm-hmm. But that's not the way most things happen. Mm-hmm. And with something this large, this big, and this much buildup, it's not just going to poof disappear like that.
And we have no idea what to expect. So when we start throwing all of our expectations on it.
But listen, for me, we have started to receive it. She was right. Allison was right in all the messages. We started to receive this energy in March. Nobody was wrong about that. It did start in March. It's just not over in 5 minutes. This is a big process.
Right. Like she said,
but
the
I
tendrils.
Think things are now we're seeing That's right. The tendrils. And we've been all of us in the chat, we've been communicating and sharing our experiences. And I think we've seen that, we've been getting these days where I almost see it like we've been getting these plateaus. So like over the last year, it was like every couple months and you just get this burst and you'd have to sort of let it acclimate, and then you kind of hit a plateau for a bit, and then you're ready to accept another boost. But then it just kept getting more frequent and stronger. And I see that's what's really happened with from the eclipse, right? Mm-hmm. And then going into December, I think was a really big month too. Before Christmas, we got some great information. And then, kicking into the new year, I think in January, I think everything got really quiet for us. It's, kind of a hibernating time. I think that was everybody's chance to kind of catch their breath, and just have some downtime really. And then in February, I feel like it's really started to pick up and escalate again. And the downloads and the energy waves started coming in more and more frequently. And I think that's what we really have been experiencing in March. We've been getting hit with bigger and bigger tendrils of this wave, and as it gets closer, we're feeling it. We may get a break for a couple of days, but then boom, we'll get that day where with Schumann resonance just goes off the charts. Our heads are buzzing, our hands and feet are buzzing. We're, getting boiling hot out of nowhere. Sleep patterns get changed. All kinds of stuff happens, right? We get crazy dreams. We all have so many different experiences. And I think that has been this wave coming into us stronger and stronger. We're getting, hit and then plateauing. We have to plateau so much quicker because we end up getting hit in another couple of days with another one. That's why we're so tired. We have a bunch of energy and then boom, 2 days later, we can't sleep enough because it is exhausting. Like we talked about last week in meditation, needing to go nap after.
Yeah.
Because it's, we're assimilating all this energy now. So it's building and building and building. And then I really saw that with what happened sort of at the end of, over the last week, at the end of last week, sort of this lulling right down. And then with nothing going on, people feeling disheartened or discouraged and starting to question because they couldn't see anything or feel anything. And they're starting to get tired and lose hope again. But really all it was that tsunami pulling that water off the beach, I feel. off
Yeah.
the beach, pulling it back in. And now we're seeing it on the horizon.
Someone's asking if you had any prophetic dreams about 2012 back in the day.
No,
No.
no, no.
Another person was saying how they hate the word soon. We can take it and shove it up our arse. I'm just playing
Soon's
with
gone.
Yeah, but I think a better word is imminent. I mean, we don't know
Yes,
when.
inevitable. Yeah, I was going
It's
to say
inevitable.
inevitable.
Yeah, inevitable
It's
is a good
imminent.
word. It's gonna
Yeah.
happen. It's for sure gonna happen, and it's for sure already happening. I believe I've had all sorts of
Oh,
things
yeah, yeah.
happening to me that have never happened before in my life over the last year. Even last
Oh,
night,
yeah.
I was standing in my kitchen and I had this really strange feeling come over me where I was taken
You
back
just said that.
to
I'm sorry. My head's going. Just as soon as you started saying that, I just go.
that I had this
Sorry, finish your story.
strange feeling in the kitchen that I don't know. I just had this feeling of when I was a kid, a boy in my kitchen, and I didn't realize how different I feel now than when I felt as a child until I felt like I felt as a child again last night.
Yeah.
And it was overwhelming. It was very emotional. I didn't know whether I should cry, laugh, or it was almost like I was being tickled or something. I was like, what the
Yeah.
heck is this? And
You are not the only one I've heard say that.
I don't know what it was, but my daughters looked at me like, "What?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Something's weird. It's like I feel like when I was a kid again, and I just, I
Yeah.
don't know. I didn't know what it was, and I kept trying to hang on to it and figure out what it was, but I've never had that happen to me before. So things are happening, and that
Mm-hmm.
could have been like a little hint of a tendril, but
For sure.
I felt
That.
like I
Yeah.
didn't know what to do. I didn't know, like I said, I was just overwhelmed with emotion and what's the word for it when nostalgia. It was a very
Mm.
overwhelming nostalgic feeling that I couldn't place what it was like when you smell perfume and it was what your mom wore when you were a
And it
kid or
recalls
something.
everything to you.
Exactly. It
Yes.
was like that.
Yes.
And I was taken to my childhood again for a moment. And like I said, I've never experienced that before. And if I didn't know about all this stuff going on, I would have thought I was
Mm.
having some kind of brain tumor or issue or something going on because it was
Well,
just so
yeah,
weird.
I have an explanation for you.
All right, let's hear it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So because what I've been getting too strongly as well, and really since this started a year ago, well, actually 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I started really getting the messages that I had to start experiencing my life again through the eyes of a child.
Hmm.
Very strongly. And I had the same thing. All those nostalgic things kept coming back to me from my childhood. And so I really got that message very strongly 2 years ago that we need to go back to how we saw things and how we experienced things
Before we had all the baggage thrown on, right?
as a child.
Yeah.
Because through the eyes of a child, magic is completely real,
Yeah, we
right?
kind of talked
Anything
about
is
that with the
possible.
artwork and
Everything's
stuff.
magic.
And even
Everything
Jesus said
looks
that.
magic.
He said to
Mm-hmm.
enter the kingdom, you have to become like a little child again or something
That's
like that.
exact. That's
Yeah.
exactly it. That's why it's so important that you said that, Shane. That's
Hmm.
exactly what it ties into. And I bet you're not the only one who's been picking up these hints about being childlike again, seeing things through the eyes of a child, experiencing them with the joy, the wonder, the innocence, and the belief that anything is possible, seeing the magic in the universe and the world around us. Um, because that's what this experience is. And I think that message is as well really a preparation for this. We are children in God's eyes, and we will be experiencing this as children. Actually, sorry, what just popped into my head too is, and Angela and I were talking a lot about this, is this birthing labor assimilation going on with what we've been going through with this new birthing of ourselves and the earth, and going through this process of labor, and feeling all these different things, ascension symptoms.
Hmm.
It can be very similar to pregnancy. um, for years I've received a lot of visualization of pictures, all kinds of stuff about birthing, like butterflies out of the cocoon, eggs cracking with light, coming out of them, and all kinds of things like that. So this, I think, is a very important concept that has to do with this, is we are birthing this new reality, right? We are rebirthing ourselves new again. So we are children, but we really truly will be born children again in
Born
this.
again.
And yeah, born again. And we literally, so what I got actually Sunday as well. Sunday or Saturday, I was doing meditation. The energy hit me very, very, very strongly. So really everything else just disappeared. With my eyes closed, I started getting this vortex visualization. Like I was going down sort of this vortex tunnel, and it hit me. It's the birth canal. And then with bringing up like how taking in that energy that I felt was like having to get through that last point of labor and delivery, that tied in as well. There's just been a lot of synchronicities with the labor, delivery, birthing,
And that
especially just
ties
in the
in.
last few days.
That ties in with the guest Sherry, who was talking about the blue portal, like going through a blue portal. That it just came to
Yeah,
mind too. So it is like a portal.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen the blue portal. I can see it at the end, the little blue portal.
And that
Yeah,
even
I've
goes
seen it.
along with, you know how the word womb, I don't know if many people know this, but the word womb in the Bible got changed to matrix. Isn't that strange? No, I'm
Yeah.
serious. That's
No,
like
I
totally
know.
right along with what we're
Like,
saying. It's like all
how
the
many
stuff is
hints?
being
No.
revealed. You're right. It's like how
How
many
many
hints
hints do
do
you
we have to
want?
drop? Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, God bent over backwards for
Right. It's
us.
like, come on.
Bent over
It's like the joke
backwards.
Allison told where she's like, the guy doesn't take all of these signs from God, and then he gets there and he's like, what? And he's like, I sent
Yeah.
you 2 boats
He's
in
like,
the
dude,
helicopter or whatever it is,
I sent you a boat. I sent you a
Right.
helicopter. I know. I love that one
Yeah.
because that is exactly it. Just remember, this still may not occur exactly the way it probably won't exactly the way you're expecting to experience it. And I think that's part of the reason why we're not being given exactly when we're going to experience it.
It's a
We're not
surprise.
supposed to be fully prepared for this. Yeah, it's the biggest Christmas present ever. You
Totally.
know? Yeah, you don't want to go peeking in the closet
When
before
do we get to open the
Christmas.
presents? Soon. I hate soon.
Yeah.
You'll get it
It's
eventually,
I
okay?
soon I know. Back to being a child again. There it is, right? I hope everybody sees these things popping up, sees these synchronicities and picks up on these words being said everywhere and seeing how they repeat and come up again, these visualizations. So I really think we're right there. We're
And it's
right there
funny
now.
because I've had people send me really ultra religious videos and stuff, and they're all talking about it. Of course, they've attached a bunch of the religion to the stuff, but everyone's feeling this, no matter
Oh
what your
yeah.
worldview is. Everybody's sort of adding their own worldview to it or whatever, but everyone's talking about it, even though they don't realize they're all talking about the same thing. It's amazing.
Well, seriously, I mean, it's Easter weekend. Like, if that's the case, that was
Oh yeah, the resurrection
like
of who we are. You know what I
yeah, and
mean?
I know there's always arguing sort of between the different religions and such, about all the changes in the Bibles and oh no, it maybe actually this date or it's this date or that date. But what I've realized is consciousness, thought consciousness, and belief systems create like they create consciousness, right? They create an energy. So whether or not the dates might be different according to this person or that person, what is still present is the consciousness of the Easter holiday, right? It's still that consciousness, that energy still contains what Easter is.
Hmm.
So even though the dates might be off to different people or there may be different arguments to it, the idea is still there, and that idea creates that energy.
Even the
And
time of year, the just the
mhm,
feeling of spring and newness, and
I know,
oh, it's all
like we had the equinox, we had
yeah,
like, and the weather here, I don't know for everybody else, but I have not seen skies this blue and I don't know how long. I've had 3 days in a row with not a chemtrail in the sky. And usually, even though I can have, a day where it's like blue sky, still always either in the morning, the sunrise or the sunset, you still get all that crap along the horizon, all the haze.
yeah.
But I was seeing like really, really, really clear signs. Like it just got so colorful and bright, and you could feel the happiness in the spring, the rebirth. What is spring?
Yeah,
It's rebirth, rejuvenation. Everything's new again, and so will we be.
yeah. Diane saying new beginnings, and it's in the air. It's in the air.
Yeah, yeah. So wow, it's great. But you know what, to see the pictures that people have been putting out yesterday, oh my goodness, talk about exciting. Last time when we talked to on here, we talked about Mr. BB333's video of the light showing up on the weather satellite, and that people had been reporting seeing it, and it was looking like the sky was changing the shade or brightness of the blackness. But now they're seeing. So now he just did an update finally today. I've been waiting for it because I did expect this to keep getting brighter, and it has continued to keep getting brighter. It's not going away. And now people are seeing it more and more, and now they're reporting seeing the colors with it. They're seeing the purple, they're seeing the green, they're seeing the red. It's changing, right? Like aurora.
Yeah, Benjamin Frost sent me his own images from what I reported on yesterday over in he's in LA, and he caught some
what did
wonderful
he catch?
images of the there was the colorful rainbow clouds at night that people filmed that I showed a news
Those are
clip
amazing.
yesterday. Yeah, people in Arizona caught it. It was actually reported on Arizona Fox News there, but Benjamin Frost was in LA, and he was able to capture some stunning images from his iPhone. And
are those the ones that you posted yesterday in the video?
Yeah, in fact, I have yesterday's video. I showed the daytime one in Jerusalem that we talked about. That I used the thumbnail for this
crazy.
video. But
was that really Jerusalem? I saw a couple arguments there, but do you believe that was really Jerusalem? Because if it was, I'm mind blown.
Right. Yeah. That's what the original source said.
Wherever it was crazy. But I mean, Jerusalem kind of just throws it off the charts.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that would explain why more people didn't have it. If it happened on like the Sabbath, I can see people being like, "I'm not," because it's against their religion. Orthodox people to use any kind of device or anything. It's like work. It's considered working on the Sabbath. So I can see even other people that's sort of like maybe their parents raised them that way, but they're not Orthodox, even being hesitant to grab their phone. Like, well, if this is the coming of the Lord, I'm not grabbing my phone right now and filming this. I better pray. I don't want to miss the bus because I'm trying to get this on tape. But I don't know. I was just throwing that out there.
I have to tell you that the picture of the rainbow cloud in the sky, right, where it's just kind of sitting and it looks like it's
swirly,
just kind of pooling,
yeah,
pooling and swirling, right? So that image is, it's not what I saw in my dream, but again, I get a lot of messages with very strong visualizations because obviously I'm a very visualized.
Are you talking about the daytime one or the nighttime one?
Yeah, the daytime or near sunset maybe.
Oh, okay, yeah, I saw that one too on
you
Facebook.
can see the rainbow cloud, and it's sort of swirling a bit, and it's just kind of laying out on
bright,
the sky,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So that image really, really struck me because it is spot on to the visualizations that I've been getting since I first started. Actually, I would say at least 3 months, probably up to between 3 to 5 months. I've been seeing that picture. I've been seeing that look. Like that's how I would visualize the energy coming through. I know a lot of people were saying that it would come through the sun to us. I understand, except that's a possibility too. And I believe that as well, but I don't know, my gut, my visualization always brought me back to seeing it emerge from cosmic center, and be traveling through space, and feeling it coming in, and that I always felt like we would see it like that, and that image would just build and get stronger and stronger and stronger till it really is, boom, hitting us and on the ground. That's what I have been seeing for myself over the last few months. So when I saw that, I was like, that's exactly what I've seen in my mind, in my messages, in meditation for the last few months. So I was really struck by it. Yeah. The one in Jerusalem where the energy's flowing up, I really wanted to mention that one because it was so much brighter really than what I saw in my dream just from Sunday, because in my dream it was nighttime. But what was eerily and just so similar was the flow, was the speed of the flow, the pace of it, the way it was moving up is exactly how I saw it in my dream on Sunday. Wow. Just the speed of it, the way it was moving up like that, it was that's really how I saw it.
Really stunning.
It really explained it any better.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I took my breath away. It
Yeah,
really
it is
did. I was in
breathtaking.
shock.
Yeah, when Allison
Hmm.
Kosett, we were both like, so it was a jaw-dropping moment. We're like, what? What's?
Yeah. Well, what? Well,
You
what?
think you're prepared till you see something like that, and you're like, how much
Yeah.
grander might this look like? And I think these are all little preparations. It's like, it's sort of, it's going to ease us into whatever's
Hmm.
happening. You know what I mean? We see
Yeah, that's
these
the funny thing about
precursors.
not having patience and everybody just being so anxious is like this thing is so, so huge. God loves us that much that he's given us this much preparation,
Exactly, and it
right?
still won't be enough, really. To
Yeah, and it's still going to be hard. So
yeah.
listen, all that wait is for a reason because it takes a lot to prepare for this, and of course he wants to prepare as many people as possible to take in as much as they can.
And the more
So
of us that are grounded when this thing happens, and people are
yeah.
looking to us and seeing that we're peaceful, it'll make it easier for them to sort of let it go and to
Hmm.
relax, and just like you were saying, that it's easier to just trust that everything's going to be okay and let it flow through you,
Hmm.
because the more you fight it, the more there's going to be fear there, and it's going to be
Yeah.
harder on the
Yeah.
person. So,
At the very least, don't be distracted by everybody else's panic. Be prepared for that
and
and
enjoy
just
it.
go, yeah, just go into your, that's where your meditation comes in.
Yeah.
So make sure you're doing that as much as possible right now. Even just take 5 minutes and just breathe, pull yourself into that zone in here. I'm in
Yeah,
here
that inner
and
peace.
just practice and then breathe it in, feel it in. Like I feel lately that when I sit to meditation within 2 minutes, it's like I'm in a room without borders.
Hmm.
As the only way I'm in my own little world, and it's more and more encompassing, and comes in more quickly every day. And it's like boom. It's like I'm in this vacuum of just just my own mind. It's like being
Hmm.
in my own room without walls. I don't know how to explain it. I try.
No, I totally get it. Yeah, yeah. I go to
Hmm.
that place too. I'm sure my places. We all have our own places, but
Hmm. Hmm.
but it's
So
important to be ready to the point that we are sort of anchors for those around us, because we don't know
yeah,
when it's going to happen. And I think that's part of the reason why we're not supposed to know, because you're like, well, I'm going to take my vacation if it's happening this week. And then maybe you need to
yeah,
be where you're going to be at your place of employment, so that you're
exactly.
the person people can look to and say, well, why isn't he freaking out or her freaking
Yeah,
out? And
yeah,
you can bring stability and say it's okay. You know what I mean? You're there to say it's okay. But if you're concerned about picking up your kids and being at your house when it happens and being alone to experience it,
you're not
then you're
you're
not
not
where
in
you need to
here.
be. You're not. The whole
Yeah, in
purpose is
here.
to anchor it in and to
Yeah.
hold the peace.
You're outside of yourself worrying about all these dynamics
Exactly.
instead of just being in here. So, going back to the comments, because I did after, we did the video, and the next day I was able to sit and go through the chat because I wanted to see, if I picked up any questions that people were asking,
Hmm.
so that I could maybe address it later. And somebody asked twice, I can't remember, Michelle, are we being tested? Michelle, are we being tested?
Hmm.
I felt this isn't a test. There's no test to pass. The other thing that occurred to me is, oh, we have to be 51% self service to others. And I was like, well, what does that mean exactly? And that's why I'll bring it up again that we talked about is that um, people need to understand light workers the self-service to others is not all necessarily external things that we do right now. Our job right now is so important. It's an internal job. Our service to others, everyone else on this planet right now, is to hold this light, is
Hmm.
to prepare ourselves, which we've been doing, to go internal, and to prepare to be, the conduits to hold this light and bring it in for everybody else. This is our service
Hmm.
to others. So I don't want anybody, getting stuck in, well, did I get that 1% more? Maybe I should have done this thing, or I didn't do it, or, is that going to take me down 2%?
Right. Right.
Or am I being tested? Am I not doing enough? The only thing you need to do right now, be loving, be compassionate, be forgiving of yourself and of others.
And not
Hold love,
judgmental. Yeah.
non-judgmental, right? realize that everybody's experience is their unique experience, and leave them to their
Yeah,
experience.
respect
Okay.
that.
Respect everybody else's own experience, and just be present in yourself. We've been trying to take care of ourselves better so our bodies can handle this. We've been doing a lot of work. I think surely 51%, a lot of us have been doing a lot of work. I know when I made this commitment to myself that my spiritual life was my life on a daily basis. I have been coming back to that every single day, that was my priority. And now I see that by making myself that priority, my spiritual life, that priority every day, that was my service to the world. So I just
And
wanted to
taking
throw
care
that
of
out there.
yourself is one of those things too. It's not, getting yourself prepared and taking care of yourself to the point that you're changing the world from within is part of service to others as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, people are going to want to lean on us too after this.
Yeah.
We have to take care of ourselves, have for this going to count on us. They are going to need this, once it happens. And even I think starting now, as people start to see these things, they're going to need the information that we have. They're going to need our strong shoulders that we've been building up strength and resting for. We have been building for this job that we are doing and are going to continue to do. I think that job is just going to get bigger. This job that we've been doing is a very internal thing right now. So don't feel bad about not getting out there every day and donating enough to charity or doing enough good deeds. And I don't really think that is necessarily the point right now. I think the biggest good deed that you can do for this planet, for Gaia, for everyone here, is to be aware of what's going on, to be aware of what's happening, to have faith in God, have trust in your higher self, and to come back to it every day.
Unconditional love too.
Yeah. And even if it's 5 minutes or it's at the end of the day, you're still coming back to it and saying, this is where I am, this is what I'm doing, and I believe in it. And be prepared to, hold this light. This is a big job that we're doing, and that's what we're doing. And we're doing it for everyone, not just ourselves.
Very true. And yeah, it can get we can get impatient at times. And that's sort of our battle, is like we want it now, but at the same time, we're here to do a job, and we want to continue to spread the love and the light and be anchors for that light. And we don't want to give up at the last minute. So.
The impatience is kind of funny because for the amount of energy downloads and upgrades and everything we've received over the last year, do you realize that there's monks over the last thousands of years that have spent their entire lifetimes?
That's true.
I believe, trying to take in what we've been taking in 1 year.
Right.
To make the progress that we have and what we're able to do now in meditation and with our energy individually and as a collective consciousness is massive. I don't think everybody realizes how much. And I think that, what we've been able to upgrade so quickly, even just this last year alone, just these last few months alone, is what has taken previous people, spiritual people, years, decades, lifetimes to attain.
Definitely.
So we actually got a lot really quickly. Yeah.
And these are exciting times, we don't want to rush it. I mean, we want to rush it, but we don't want to rush it.
I know. But the journey, like I said, the journey is all part of it. It's not just the destination.
Definitely. And it's not like bam, it's over. It's not bam, it's over after this. It's just this is a quantum leap or a big bump up. But things
it's like at Christmas time, you start putting up the decorations and you put up the lights and then you put out the cookies and the milk and I think we're out to the cookies and milk now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not just boom, you wake up, it's Christmas morning and then it's done.
Yeah.
Right. And that's part of the fun. That's part of the fun of Christmas. Look at how we've all drawn together as a community. All the friends and loved ones are the people that we're able to call brothers and sisters now, that we found after being so alone, many of us, after being so alienated, usually almost for most of our lives even, look at now what we've been able to. That's part of the gift too. We started receiving these gifts, and those gifts are each other.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen.
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 And that's so funny because when Go-Kart Bob was just talking about having
Hi,
faith in
Bob.
God and reading
Hmm.
his good book or whatever. I think Jesus was the perfect for me. He's always been my role model for the
Hmm.
type of love, and the religious leaders look down on him for hanging out with the so-called sinners and things like that. And he always called the religious leaders the hypocrites because Jesus knew
Yeah.
that it was all about love, and they weren't being very loving. The way they
On
were
the
towards.
ground is where the action is.
Exactly. Yeah,
What are
he
you going
was.
to do from up in your lofty heights,
Yeah,
looking down on everybody? You
exactly.
know,
And I think
it's not.
he's a perfect example of how we should
He
love.
is. You know, I'll tell you a little story that was, I think, very, very meaningful for me. When I first a year ago, after I had my Kundalini awakening and really started learning about ascension, I started getting these visualizations and meditation of, well, at first I wondered what it was like to be the robe that Jesus wore.
Hmm.
They said, because they said he would walk down the streets and somebody could touch his robe and be healed. And I started asking myself, what would it be like to even feel like that walking down the street? What would it be like to even be the robe,
Hmm.
that Jesus wears? And
Yeah.
then I started getting these images of being our energy being threads.
Hmm.
And then all these threads from all over the world streaming up and coming together
Hmm.
and weaving this Christ cloth,
Yeah.
the robe of Christ. And it has something that has stuck with me. And when I was ever feeling down or anxious or anything, I would, in a very strong vision once, I felt Jesus come to me, sit down beside me, and give me my own Jesus, give me my own Jesus shirt. I'm serious.
Yeah,
Gave me
that's
my own
beautiful.
shirt. He's, this is for you.
Yeah.
And I put it on, and I felt amazing. I felt like, oh, this is what he feels like walking down the road.
Hmm.
So I've come back to that,
Yeah.
putting on my Jesus shirt.
And I've said it
So
before, that's like the biggest fear of the powers that be in this fallen world is that they have thousands of Christ conscious beings walking around like Jesus. That's their
yeah,
worst fear because they don't want us to walk around with the type of power and Christ consciousness that Jesus had when he was here. He was one man that caused a lot of trouble because he.
imagine thousands.
Yeah, exactly.
Done deal.
Yeah, they're like, I just want out of here, man.
Yeah,
Send me to
you're
hell.
roasted now. Sorry about your luck. It's barbecue time.
Yeah, that sounds much
Yeah.
better than staying here with all these guys. Okay, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I love that. I feel like, as all those threads now and in this community and in this chat has allowed us to come together and weave that cloth
Yeah.
together. And that is that collective consciousness, our community consciousness, our Christ consciousness taking form in front of our very eyes, in us, through us, with us.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, it's been a wonderful show. It's already,
Yeah.
I just looked up, it was 10222.
I know every
247
time it's
people.
crazy. Every time now, like I get up and I look at the clock, and I'm like, I basically about 4 or 5 times a day
Yeah.
will look at the clock and just start laughing,
Yeah.
like all the time now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even watching
Hmm.
YouTube videos, I'll look down at a certain time and I'll
Yeah.
be like, what the
Yeah.
heck? And it'd be like, it's not even on the screen. I'll look to see how much time's left, and then I'll have to move my mouse to make the
Yeah.
time pop there, and it'd be like,
Yeah. Yeah.
a certain
I get, oh,
synchronistic
look,
number.
Jesus is thinking about you too.
Right?
When I see it, oh, he sees you. He
Oh,
knows,
biker babe, you're
knows,
gonna have to
yeah.
go back and watch. You missed a really good one.
Oh, she missed.
No notification.
I'm probably gonna go on my own again because I was gonna do it today even before we planned it because I don't want to leave it too long before I do another video on my own channel. So I'll probably give it a shot in a couple hours. Hopefully, if anybody can join me again, I'm gonna give it another go on doing a live video. Not exactly sure what I'm gonna talk about just yet. So if anybody has anything they want me to talk about specifically, please throw it on there. I'll check the comments or the chat after, so I can see what everybody's thinking, and I'll put something together, and hopefully you guys can join me there too.
Yeah, I just noticed another comment right before I went on. I don't even think I got to respond, but someone else was saying that with me and you doing this and you getting your channel going, they've been encouraged to get their channel going and inspired.
Somebody said that too.
Yeah, I just saw
You know,
that, and I was like, oh man, that's so awesome, because that's what this is really all about, And I know a lot of the viewers here, like when we end here, they're like, where do I go now? And if somebody else had a stream they were starting, then they could hop
that's
in
what
there.
I want to do, and that's why I'm saying it too.
Yeah, it really keeps the energies high when we're
Yeah,
together like this.
it really is. Oh,
Yeah.
it definitely is. Don't underestimate that at all. That power is
Yeah.
enormous. And like I said last week, I said we can start visualizing. I think that more people did. I hope that more people did get that message and have that image pop in their head of that rainbow being inside of you and growing it it out. And I really feel like that's energy is really built, through our community. And here it is now coming in, and we're seeing it. And
I think
it really is exciting.
Somebody just made the comment about halfway through, and I forgot to respond to it, that we should all just take a moment and send out the love vibrations to each and every one of us here in the chat while we're all here consciously.
I would love to do a couple-minute meditation with you guys. I would love to do that. I wanted to do that last time. With how many people do we have on right now?
243.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Awesome. So hopefully, even if you guys can just listen, and if you can't close your eyes or be in with us,
let's
maybe
connect
we can,
through love and
let's
light,
connect,
and
because you'll feel it. You'll feel that power boost. That's for sure. Yeah.
get a little taste of what's to come.
Yeah. So if everybody just wants to breathe it in and just sort of pull yourself with that breath right back into your own center. Don't worry about everybody else just yet. Oh, I'm getting out of breath already. I'm actually getting woozy. Okay. So it's a lot of energy. So, if we can just kind of quiet your mind, the thoughts are still going to be there, but just kind of let them go in the background. You don't have to turn them off. It's just part of who you are. And just sort of pull yourself into that quiet place inside. Feel the energy sort of grouping up and tingling in your heart chakra. Feel that energy get warm, start to emanate bigger and bigger. Now I want you to just sort of expand your awareness, expand those energy fingers out. Zoe came to join in. Expand your energy fingers out to your community, because we're all right here right now. So start to just put your feelers out. Visualize our fingers connecting together, like like holding hands where your fingers are all joined together. So, join one hand with one community member. Join your other hand with another community member. And then that's our grid. And we're just going to link.
We're like hugging the earth.
Link. That's exactly it. So that linking is now going on all around. Zoe's getting really excited. She's chewing my fingers. So we're going to start to feel that grid. And it's white. It is that Christ consciousness light. And you can feel that energy webbing out and gridding out all around the planet. So breathe that in. Now build it. Those webs, start seeing them getting thicker and brighter, closing in the gaps in between, closing in till it's just one big united light grid, love light, encircling the whole earth. Now make it rainbow. Picture the rainbow clouds, if anybody's been seeing them. Picture that just as one whole uniform form, covering all the skies, all around the earth. And now we're all singing, hands holding together in unison, and singing about the glory of God. Because he's here. Jesus is here. with us now. He says it's time to celebrate. Picture that cloud getting thicker, the rainbow's getting brighter. Now picture it coming closer to the earth, starting to touch down. It's touching down, and as it touches down, whew, the wave forms up all the way up to the sky. And now it starts to run and cover and flow across every foot, every mile, every country, every home, every person, through every depth, no matter how high, no matter how deep they are below the surface. I want you to hold those hands just a little bit tighter for a minute. Take in that big breath. I want you to picture that feel that sonic boom, and just let it go pulsate. Boom, from the center of the earth, pulsate that right back out, big and strong, and feel that wave go right through from the center all the way out, like it's blowing right back out again. Now you can just smile.
A big ball of light we are now.
Big ball. It's
I look
everywhere.
down, we have 222 people in here.
Perfect. See? Perfect timing. All is in divine timing. If you think you got a better date, you don't. God's always got a better date than you, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. You don't need to know all the details. You don't. Just trust.
It's actually nice that
trust
we
it.
don't have to worry
You
about it,
don't
guys.
have
Think
to.
about it.
Yeah,
It's so
you
nice
don't have to.
that we know we can have faith that it's handled and things are going to happen in divine timing, and we just need to ready ourselves, be loving, be peaceful.
Just be cradled. Yeah.
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 Shine the light, shine the
Yeah.
love.
Just
and
enjoy the rocking back before and forth right now as we're being cradled in this
Namaste.
arms, because
Yeah.
success is here. We are born. We are born light workers as a community together now. That is our birth. That is our birth. We just crowned, baby. We just crowned. And here we
Dustin
come.
says 222 is
I'm
God's
tingling.
number for
I don't
me.
know if anybody's else.
Oh
has got
man, I
goosebumps.
felt actual heat around my head, and I felt
Yeah.
pressure in my ear, and I felt tingles all over, and the love was just tremendous.
That's
that
my
I felt.
first group meditation, guys.
That was awesome.
That's my first group meditation.
We have no
And
idea
wow,
the
I could
power
feel
that.
it.
Oh my God.
I hope everybody else got that. I hope everybody else could catch that picture and feel that visualization and feel that energy and that linking together of the hands and the building of the grid, and that woof. I can feel it within the center of my chest, like it's in the center of the earth.
Yes.
That sonic poof,
Yeah.
and out it goes. Out it goes. Oh, wow.
That took me up a
That was
few
big.
notches. I feel really good. I feel.
Oh my gosh, I'm like
excited.
woozy. I'm a little blurry right now. I'm getting tickled.
We got to be
I'm getting
careful.
tickled.
It's
a lot of energy.
powerful.
Nobody get up really fast right now.
Yeah,
If
seriously.
you're driving, pull over.
Yeah.
Don't handle any sharp objects right now for at least a good 20 minutes. And I'm serious. Because you're going to be, that vertigo is going to kick in.
Yeah.
Watch door jams. Okay. I'm covered in bruises.
I'm
Covered in
excited to
bruises.
go. I want to go look at the sky. I feel like.
Oh, yeah, I
something's
know.
Going on out there.
I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be messaging you all day, right?
Totally cool. You have
I
my
was like,
hangouts
I'm so
now.
sorry, I'm driving you crazy. I'm like, look at this. Did you see this? I can never beat you to it though. You've always got one up on me.
Oh yeah, you were gonna send me that one. You're like, oh, I saw you already commented in the chat. That's why a lot of times I comment.
I know.
I'm like, people are gonna be sending me this. I better leave a
I
comment
know.
so they know.
Because
I've
I've been
seen it.
going through everything, right? So we can talk about and see what's going on.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Oh my gosh, I am so woozy right now, guys. Like my teeth are vibrating, my skull's vibrating.
And it means so much when you guys throw in a few bucks like that. That's so cool. And I mean, I know a lot of us are broke, so I'm not saying that you have to do that. I'm just saying that it means a lot when somebody sends a couple bucks because I know how broke you guys are.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, and it's it's not necessary,
No,
but you know what, being
we're
just
about to move
being
beyond
here,
the whole money thing.
yeah,
You know,
hitting like, hitting subscribe to show other people
and
that you're
just
here, to
being
show other
here.
people it's worthwhile.
Yeah,
It's
and
worthwhile
spreading the
being here.
love.
Yeah,
That's
so make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit that like button, because that's support. That's to tell everybody else this is the place to be, guys,
yeah.
and pay attention. So I want to say thank you so much to everybody that's subscribed to me already. You guys have left me the nicest comments saying
Aren't they beautiful?
thank you to me. But
Gosh.
what I want to say is, no, you have no, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're thanking me. You even taking the time to leave me a comment. I appreciate. I'm trying to get back to everyone, even I could hit a like or hit something to say, no, thank you. Thank you for your affirmations,
Yeah.
for saying, you know what, Michelle, I experienced that too. I saw that too. I felt that too. This means so much. Or now I understand this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That means the world to me. So this is completely reciprocal.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I've given, I'm already receiving in multitudes. So I thank you for your graciousness, everyone. It means the world to me, and it encourages me to keep sharing and keep putting myself out there and
Wow. Somebody
do
said I
group
just hit.
meditations.
Yeah, someone said I just hit 8K. I didn't even realize it. 8,000 subscribers. That's awesome. I've been growing so
There
fast.
you go.
And
So
like
you'll
I'm
know when it's 9. So you'll know when it's 9. It's time to go.
and I'm totally with you. I'm like, dude, I'm like just honored to be a part of
I
something
was
so
so excited
wonderful.
this morning.
Yeah.
I could hardly sleep last night. Like after having before the last 2 days, I couldn't get enough sleep. It was so tiring. Like we were talking about, the meditation was tiring, and it was so, but the last couple of days, I can't even go to sleep. And it's not just because I'm like giddy on Christmas. I can't go to sleep. I'm seeing now I'm understanding. Last night I started to see why. It's because there's so much going on,
Yeah.
because things are escalating.
A lot of
And
energies.
yeah, that wave is rolling back in now, so we're seeing it on the beach.
The
Right?
coast is
Yeah.
not clear anymore.
No, no, no.
Good
So it's
stuff
time
coming.
to celebrate, everybody. You're going to probably still go through a lot of crazy emotions, like Shane was talking about. I think that was a great example, Shane. I'm so glad that you shared that,
Oh, it was
because
awesome.
I'm sure you're not the only person that's going to be feeling like that. I know Scott was mentioning, his emotions being crazy, like can't stop crying, because you're so,
Yeah. And it's so
yeah,
funny
because you're
whenever I
feeling
mention
the
something like
love.
that, people leave comments and they're like, I got that too, and I got that too. And I'm like, wow, that's
Yeah.
so amazing that,
Yeah,
I'm not the
I'm
only one.
boiling right now. I'm boiling right now. I'm like just sweating.
I'm actually going to
You
go out
guys
and
are
meditate
amazing.
right now. So if anybody wants to continue
Yeah,
it on after we end this
yeah.
broadcast, we can still
You know
be
what? I always
connected, and
do.
that'll be
Yeah,
wonderful.
Shane, I always do. When your chat ends, I always sit for a minute to soak up that group energy. I encourage everybody else to do so. Whoa, there we go again. I always know I'm on cue. Usually it's the buzzing and the tingling, and it's like somebody's tickling the top of my
Yep.
head, or I get the ringing in my ears, just goes up, whoa, a whole other octave. But
Yep.
wow, guys, I'm just like, this is hitting me like I'm just getting flushed, like sweat. I'm like feeling woozy, like I'm gonna faint. So I'm not standing up or doing anything for a little bit.
If I fall in my
Yeah.
backyard, it's fine. I'll just land in the
Yeah. But give
grass.
me your feedback, guys. Leave a comment on this. I want to hear what you experienced with this today, and share, because, people want to check things out and they're curious. You know what? They read your comments to see if they should watch or not. Keep that in mind. So if you love Shane, you love this channel, you love me,
Love each other.
that's the best way. You love each other. Let's support each other. Get the word out there. And, just taking the time to do that, even if it's a little thing, people see that. People see the responses. They see the positivity, the likes, the positive comments, and they're like, oh, let's take a look. Let's take a
Yeah,
listen.
let's be a part
And
of
you don't
this.
know who you could be helping right now. There's your your service to others for today.
Yes. Thank you, Lenny.
Yes.
And thank you, Robin. I really appreciate you
Thanks,
guys.
Lenny. Thank Robin.
And what was I going to say? For the other people watching on the other streaming services, you're watching the chat go up and you're like, where the heck is this? This is
Mhm.
happening on YouTube. So you can go to YouTube, look up Unbiased on the Fence, and you can actually join in with the chat that you're seeing on the screen because I had a few people. I'm streaming on like 5 different services right now.
Oh, you're
So,
such a multitasker.
well, I found technology to do it for me. So,
Yeah,
and
I
I
can't
found
wait
the
till I build up to your level.
I found the streaming. Actually, it was Unirock that helped get me going. And so big shout out to Unirock for helping me multi-stream. And I found
Hmm.
out that it seems YouTube doesn't do the buffering thing as bad when they see it's coming from a source that is sending it out to several things because they don't want to.
That's why you wanted to use the Hangouts today, as opposed to what we did last time.
Well, Hangouts itself seems to work a little bit better than
Hmm.
because your face
Hmm.
was really blurry. Like it's clear now.
Yeah, I
Did
know.
you notice how it was?
I
It was
watched that after. It was
yeah.
terrible.
Right. So I don't know. I think it was trying to
You,
do too
you're
much.
like,
So.
look how young she looks for her age. You're like, you can't even see me.
You're like 4 pixels.
So let's try that again. I'm 47.
That's incredible.
It is awesome.
I'd rather you just
You
say
know,
you're
yeah.
older than me and not say your age because
Well,
then,
actually, I just remembered I wanted to mention we were talking about the eyes of a child,
yeah.
and people are like, why do you look so young? I swear, even the last 6 months, I feel like I've started looking even younger, and I believe that it's having that perspective of seeing the world and seeing life and your experiences through the eyes of a child.
I do
I think
too.
I think it's affecting ourselves.
I went
I
back and
really
watched
do.
one of my first videos like a year ago, and oh my
Yeah,
gosh, I seemed so stressed out and older than what I look like now.
I
And
feel like I'm looking even younger.
so if
You
anybody
know?
thinks, just go back and watch one of my old I'm
Yeah,
embarrassed to even have you go look at this point. It's such a big difference, but you can totally
yeah,
see I've really grown a lot in a year. Just
yeah.
looking at myself, I can see it. And you can't normally see yourself as well as you can see other people changing. So
Yeah. Well, I
be
was
encouraged.
beating myself up for a while because it's probably been about 6 months that I've been wanting to do, my messages and guys that is so strong to do these kinds of videos, right? And like I said to you, I just have a tendency to just want to make things so complicated, well, I think I
Hmm.
need this and I need that. And, so what am I going to do? And it's kind of nerve wracking and everything, but oh, totally. I'm so woozy. I'm sorry, guys. I, I'm completely losing my train of thought even. But oh yeah, just the divine timing of it. I was feeling like, since January started, like I'm supposed to start doing this. I'm supposed to start doing it. But now, and I was kind of feeling, a little bit bad that I hadn't been doing what I was telling myself I should do and what my guides had been telling myself I should do. But again, once again, I see that all is in divine order. I was just waiting for you, Shane. You know what? I needed your help too to just get started. And so I can't thank you enough. You're my long lost brother for life. Now I'll start crying again.
I know. Gosh, it's like that for me.
I
Like
love you
Schmeenix.
so much.
Schmeenix said the same thing. He was
Yeah,
like, "You
it was
inspired me
all
to do my
timing.
channel," and I was like, "That makes me want to cry to see that
Yeah,
it's like I'm paying it
yeah,
forward through other people. It's like inspiring people is
yeah.
such a satisfying thing. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God,
Yeah, and it all played out like it was supposed to. So, you know what? No guilt. I try to tell myself that every day when you feel like, should we be doing this or I did that wrong or no, just don't worry about it because your higher self and God knows the plan. So
yeah,
don't waste your time feeling guilty about everything because everything really does happen in divine order. So
yeah, that's
just
so
breathe.
true. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
looking back, I
yeah,
can see now how everything played out like it was supposed to.
yeah.
And when I first
Hmm.
woke up to things happening, I was running around frantic, like when you wake up from the alarm and you thought you got up, but you didn't
Yeah.
get up for like a half hour and you're going to be late and you're like running around. That's what I felt like when I started
Oh,
seeing things. And I
wow.
was like, oh my
I
God,
know.
I was supposed to be doing things this whole time. But, you know,
Yeah,
the things like, I've been on my own road. I've traveled it the right way. And here I am where I'm supposed to be. And now I'm starting to
yeah.
be more content with how things are
Yeah.
playing out.
And having confidence in what you're doing and seeing
Yeah.
like, hey, you know what? I wow, I can do this and people appreciate it. People
Yeah.
like me. They really, really like me.
Right now.
Remember
No,
that?
I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's so true though. Yeah,
I'm worth it.
and I can see times when I was guided, divinely guided, and I didn't even
So
realize it at the time.
yeah. I know. I feel like I was divinely guided to you, you know? Because it wasn't the first video that I watched, but it was just the one time, and I don't know what it was, but I was just so compelled that I knew I had to reach out to you. I just knew we had to talk, that you were the one to talk to, and that's what I had to do. So, and that's why I sent that. It's not like I go around sending out emails like that every day. Never, but I knew that's what I had to do. I knew that it was time to do that.
Oh, well, thank you. Somebody called me a catalyst. I'm like, that's cool.
You catalyst, you multitasking catalyst.
That's awesome. And I'm actually going to have another guest on that's going to share. I've got several guests.
Who's tomorrow? Who's tomorrow? What else you got going on this week? Everybody, let everybody know what your schedule is.
Something. I'm not sure.
I know you don't really have a schedule, but
I mean, I've got people lined up, but I just don't know. I don't know who's next, so we'll see.
Well, I'll fill in your blanks. I'll fill in your blanks when needed, eh?
Definitely. So I use
because it's
intuition.
So important we be here every day.
Definitely.
Sorry, Zoe's turning into a monster.
She's trying to get some of that love she feels.
She's beating me with a toy right now.
I thought you were going to say her tail.
Smack. Because she wants me to grab it so we play tug of war. Yeah. Mom. Nothing.
Well, I'll let you go play with Zoe.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass out soon too. So I need water. Everybody drink water right now because that energy just dehydrated you. So everybody drink 1 bottle of water. Promise me right now. I'm doing it.
Guzzle it down. Or like Nathan said, use the Sam's water.
Yeah, I'm noticing with meditation, when I end up finishing meditating, I'm so dehydrated. Like my mouth is completely dry. I can hardly swallow. I'm really dehydrated. So I think that energy is just even kicking in more. We need water, guys. Okay, Zoe, you're going to unplug me again.
Well, lots of love and light to all of you guys in the audience. And
love
we'll
you
see
all.
you on the next one.
Thank you all. Come visit me later today. If you haven't seen my video yet, go over there now, subscribe, give me a like, give me a comment, and spread it out there because I got a lot of stuff to say.
Peace, everyone. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Mm-hmm.